Greetings, all. Can I get a confirmation that everybody can hear me? See, we have about 6 minutes before we'll get started. What up, Bax? Let's see, we'll get started in about 5-6 minutes. Just wanted to get going a little bit early to give people a chance to get in. Everybody hear me just fine? Can y'all hear me? Okay, thank you, Swoosh. Yep, thank you. Just like to check to make sure. How's everybody's Sunday going? We can banter for a few minutes before everybody rolls in. Good. What up, Polly? What's up, Apollo? Evening, Jim. I guess we're at 5 o'clock. We could take a check, or we're at almost 6 o'clock. We're fuse are open. Oh, look at that! Nice run up. Interesting. Interesting to see. We'll get into our tickers here in a few. Get everybody going. Be a good time. Anybody do anything awesome this weekend? Tell me something good. Anybody find the link to the DeFi free money bot on Twitter that we always get to see and talk about? Thought we were going to get that fixed at some point, but we have not. We have not. The bots are everywhere. Where'd we open here? Friday. Where's our Sunday candle? So that's where we closed. We're not ripping up too much, really, on Futes. And that's a pretty big jump. Watch England beat Ukraine. Sleep. Won 100K in Vegas. Hey, that is pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I spent my weekend taking my wife shopping. So, you know. And I'm pretty excited. There's a show on HBO called Succession. And if any of you have ever watched it, it is really good. And it premieres tonight, I think. So after this, I'm pumped to go watch the first episode. It's a wild show. All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes and we will get this bad boy. Honeydews. You're dang right. She's letting me get a puppy, so I'm gonna do whatever she says, to be honest. Hush money for the wife. All right, still about 2 minutes left, and then we'll get rolling. 1 minute now. Is Tesla Theta going to show up tonight and ask about our Tesla thoughts? I need to know. Puppy and a copy of Diablo 4. She was very entertained to see me have fun playing a video game, that's for sure. Okay. It is time. We are at 30 seconds till, so we can go ahead and start getting after it. How is everybody tonight? And Nvidia Delta's favoring the Bears. You know what? While we're here, let's just check. That's the first ticker anybody's thrown out. So let's get a look at it. I agree. Let's hit that like button. Thank you, Bernie. I do believe Nvidia was still favoring the bulls. Yep. Nvidia is still favoring the bulls. This thing's a juggernaut. Only goes up. Amazon, please. It flipped a little bit. Lags. So we might be salty come tomorrow. Hello, Malik. So Nvidia, it's got some heavy put flow, but it's had tons of heavy put flow as it's been going along, and it really does. Let's look at its. So its 1 day price distribution is pretty even here and here, so it looks like a fairly volatile day for it. If we want to go out to the end of the week and just see what our next 5 sessions look like, same probability of some big moves there and there. What's your question, Malik? Type it out while we look at Amazon here. After we answer, Amazon is slipping. It's starting to look like a potential short. We are in a short, some of us already, and it's not going well. I'm going to have to roll mine out tomorrow. Unless it opens big time down. MU earnings this week. That'll be interesting for chips. Let's see here. Nvidia is too expensive. Swoosh. Its cons are just ridiculous, and its price seems a little high. It just continues to go up over and over and over again. AMD. Okay, let's look at AMD. While Malik types his question, we'll keep looking at, and then we'll look at XLF unless he pumps up. A lot of flow on AMD. Seems to be finding its way around 100. It had flipped a little bit. You see how it's just slowly starting to tail off right here? Obviously, we want our green bars up. So, I mean, if I'm going to short AMD long term, I'm going to wait until we get a little bit of a green bar, and I'm going to buy lots of time. It's 1 day price distribution is showing some maybe volatility tomorrow. Decent chance of a 0 to 2.3% up or down. All right, Malik's still typing. I think that's going to be a long question. Again, you know what? And I'm scared that he's going to type something, and I'm not going to know the answer, and then he wasted all those fingers mashing away. XLF. Yeah, chips are going to be crazy this week, but they've just continued to be crazy. So that's a lot of flow there. Further out, 6.4 million is a lot. Hi, Vinny. It's good to see you. XLF backtest does show it's a decent short. Banks have been beaten up quite a bit. If you look at its 1 day forward, just 1 day's our default or forward price distribution, looking a little like it might get a run up. And really, I would like to short banks more, but I really want to see them go up a little bit. Okay. It's lagging, Seamus. Question is if you could have a look at SPY for price distribution, dealer Greeks, daily, monthly, weekly flow map. Our flow maps here. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to this. Oh, okay. You're just trying to see how we find confluence if we see all these different signals. I'm going to ignore this flow map, our heat maps, pretty much a good portion of the time. I'm going to ignore the SPY net flow a good portion of the time. Where I'm looking for SPY is always the same thing. I'm looking for their deltas. I keep it standard. I don't do much I don't do much clicking around there, right? And I just want to see where it's showing. So it's still showing SPY has room up. What up, Bismarck? Is anybody else getting any lag? Shouldn't be. We should be going. SPY only goes up. So our one-day price distribution on SPY shows decent chance of a downtrend. Oh, the flow map. Okay. Okay. I got you, Malik. Nobody else is getting lag. Swoosh, turn it on and turn it off again. Everybody else isn't getting much lag. So we have a decent chance of a pullback tomorrow, and we have a pretty good chance of a run up tomorrow as well if we're just looking at SPY right here. So what I really like to do is I like to just look at these two biggest bars, and then just see which direction we go first. So if we open up big, 0.5%, and we hit a resistance, you know. So right now we're probably about here. If we're tracking Futes, we're probably here. Okay. So if SPY manages to make it up to any of these levels here, and we get a nice run up in the morning, I might look to fade it, just based on this price distribution, since the short is higher. Let's see here. Got a lot of questions. I'm rolling through. Okay, you asked for the flow map. We're answering Malik's questions real quick. So this is going to change, Malik, tomorrow, an hour and a half in, and that's really when we want to be looking at it. This really rotates every hour or so throughout the day. So we don't really want to look at what we see today. We want to look at what we see an hour and a half in tomorrow there. For sure. 5 days a bit more bullish. It is. And you know, what I like to do is I really like to, since I do a lot of day trading, even if we go to 2 day, you know, Tuesday looks like it's a good run up. Pretty even Wednesday. Wednesdays are usually chop days. 4 day starts to get bullish. 5 days starts to get bullish, way more so. So as we see these go throughout the week, right? If our deltas keep coming down, then what I do is just long the red days. Evening, Prashant. Yep, 5 day. Dealer Greek is the best. I don't mess with any of the other buttons. Let's roll through. Okay, XLF we looked at. It looks like a short, but banks have got to probably get covered after they've been hammered down so much. Swoosh, there's no way to search by names for Dealer Delta yet. I think Hater's working on that. SPY only goes up. Shop had a good Trady flow. I am in that, Swoosh. I went a few weeks closer, and I think I only went $2 out of the money. So I think I went with 48s, perhaps. I'd have to check. So, but yes, I went into it. I did enter that shop position. Sometimes those happen so fast. Maybe we get a big run up tomorrow, and I exit and get my green, and maybe that'll cover what I'm going to assume are Amazon puts that I have to roll out another month, which will just be terrible. Free promo codes. Do you have any? I like your profile name. Do I have any opinion on May 3rd? I call it FOMO C because everybody FOMO's in that day, just so we're clear. Do I have any opinion on May 3rd FOMO C? I don't. I think they're going to keep hammering away until more things break. Inflation's out of control. Have you tried shopping? It's pretty outrageous right now. Everything's expensive. Inflation's terrible. Rich folk don't know, you know. They don't know what eggs cost. They have someone buying them for them probably. But that's how I see that. Did that answer all your questions, Malik? You feeling a little bit better? It looks like as we progress through the week, if the dealer deltas keep going down, then we continue to maybe see some upwards momentum after red days. That's what currently the data says. That's currently what I'm anticipating. If we just look at tomorrow, thank you, Vinny. You're always so helpful and contribute so much. Always so much. Keep it to text messages, Vin. What are you doing in here? Thank God nobody can see this chat. I'm not reading your questions out loud. So if we open tomorrow green, right? And if we're looking at futes don't matter right now, let's be honest. It's early. They've been open an hour and 11 minutes. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. But if we open tomorrow green, I wouldn't be shocked if we see a pullback late day from one of our levels. Right? Not seeing our 411 getting tapped anytime soon, but what other questions do we have? We have 49 minutes left, so let's use them all up. So I'm short SPY and long SHOP, both May 19th expiry. Though short-term momentum looks strong for bull side, thoughts on rolling SPY put further out? I couldn't really help you with that one. I'm not a financial advisor. I will say I have a very big rule when it comes to trading. That's ATP. Always take profits. Excuse me. So if I am green on something and it's 10 to 30%, I will exit out of that position and maybe leave a runner. If I was heavy enough to get out completely in profits and let a runner go, I might roll it. But that really depends on what I see in the market sentiment from the tools. Can we go over AMD when we have a moment? We went over it a little bit, Biz, but we'll take a look at it again real quick. Let's see here. We'll look at A, B, and B next, and then I'll answer Siraj's question. How could you anticipate coin or SQ drop? Trady flow, Siraj had both coin and SQ heavy puts. And I think those are our only real pieces of data that we could see from there. So Biz, AMD is shrinking. Our back test still shows we're somewhat long. Let's look at its price distribution. Just the 1 day shows a little bit of upside, a little bit of downside. Let's just go through a couple days worth. So showing Tuesday a little bit more bullish. Wednesday a little bit more bullish. Thursday still the same. If all of this state remains, the Friday is sort of an even day. So if all this remains the same, tomorrow could be a slight pullback on AMD. If all the data stays the same, and then we might start seeing a little bit of running. Holy moly, swoosh! You listed off like 10 in a row. We have oil next. Hold on. Lags asked about oil. Let's just take a look at a couple of the tickers. I was talking about this one earlier a little bit with some buds. Oxy is starting to look an awful lot like a long. A little bit. Its price distribution is goofy, so there could be some volatility there. Let's just go all the way out to 5 days. We starts to get a little bit better throughout the week. And then evens out over our next 10 sessions. So I've got my eyes on Oxy. 57 and 56 are the two spots I'm hoping it taps for maybe a month-long swing into some 60s or so. I might look at right around there. Let's give it time to be right. If it dips below 56, I probably won't touch it for a little bit. Just let it ride. Oxy, let's look at ZOM real quick. I think it's roughly the same. Got some heavy calls going out. Didn't want to waste 49 more minutes. Hey, I like a person that likes action. So ZOM is actually an inverse. We long it when it's green. I remember looking at it earlier. It's got some decent returns. So ZOM's another one. As you can see, its forward price distribution is a little goofy, kind of like Oxy's. But if we get into Tuesday, get into Friday, we start to see higher percentages of oil running throughout the week. So what it looks like, if we're just looking at our price distributions on a lot of the stuff we've gone through, it really looks like maybe Monday might be a little bit of a chop downwards momentum day, and then after that things start to pick up on a lot of these price distributions. All right, let's go through. Malik, I mentioned the shop calls I'm in. It's from a Trady flow. I just went a few weeks earlier and a little bit closer to the money, I believe. And if they hit a 20% negative, I'll sell. ARC trading. If we're going to open green, let me pull up AMD next while I'm answering your question. Or not AMD, but ABNB. If we're going to open green tomorrow morning, do you think AS will pull back before going up towards the morning? I mean, I can't really predict the market. The data shows that we should see some upwards momentum and some downwards momentum. I think I'm in 48s, Malik. So to answer your question, ARC trading, I really think just the data is pointing towards a little bit of volatility tomorrow, maybe. So perhaps we see a run up and then maybe an end of day, bit. So ABNB is backwards. ABNB still says it's a short VIN. Leech, possible to tell me my CCL lottos will pay without looking at the data. It will help me sleep better. It sounds amazing. Everything is going to be great. Don't even tell me which direction they are. Whichever it is, you're gonna do great. Okay, Microsoft. Let's blow through some of these tickers really quick. We're just going to look at deltas and price distribution because that's all we really need to check out right now. Microsoft has been a juggernaut lately. That's been great. And it is quite bullish here. Very bullish. Let's take a look, see what I'm saying here. Our one-day price distribution is showing a high percent of a pullback. But I bet if we start getting into more days, oh, that doesn't look good for Tuesday. Wednesday's not looking so great. Thursday either. Oh boy. Friday, higher chance. You should feel better already. That's great. That's great. Apple, Netflix, Starbucks, TLT, IWM, Diz. Yes, that's ABNB. ABNB is an inverse, so when its deltas are negative, it's a short. Now, mind you, don't just blindly look at a delta and short. Draw GEX levels. Look at the different time frames. Look at your daily. Look at your weekly. If you look for patterns, check for patterns that you might want to be looking at. You know, is it in a bear flag or a bull flag, or is it in a falling wedge or a rising wedge, or whatever you do? If you're a harmonics person, slap the butterfly in there, or the shark, and see what it's doing. Use whatever. If you love astrology, if Sagittarius is going to marry a Cancer, maybe check to see if that's it. I don't really care what you use, but always apply your own analysis after looking at the data. Don't just blindly say it's time to go in, it's time to go heavy. I would never do that personally. Everything I do is based on the price action I'm seeing throughout the day, and I may wait 2 weeks to short something because I've drawn out a level and waited for it to hit that level, and may wait a couple weeks to long something. So Microsoft is still looking bullish, but its price distribution is mixed. That's a no touch for me. I like my data to have a little bit more confluence. Also, okay, shop. After Apple, I'll do shop, and then we'll go through some more swooshes. We're looking at Apple right now, which is a couple people that have been looking at. Apple's pretty mid. It's shrinking. It still shows that it's long. Okay, it still shows that it's long. 1 day price distribution. Also, is a lot of that reflecting the last trading day. That's why we refresh these price distributions first thing in the morning, and then about an hour in. Then we check those. Apple looks bullish. It's tailing off a little bit here, but it's not gone up into the short zone yet, so it still looks bullish. We'll get there, Matt. Swoosh named off like 474 tickers, but a lot of them are popular, so we're going to take a look. What are we looking at? Shop. Well, there's some of this call volume going into shop. Says short by the deltas, to be honest. They're building up heavy. 1 day price distribution looks a little towards the downside. Gets bullish after that. Let's go to the end of the week, see what it looks like. That's interesting. Get out to Friday and shop looks like it's got some pretty high chances of running. Starbucks. Do believe this looked like a long when I looked at it earlier. It is not the best percents here, but so if you're just looking at the 1 day run up, run down, let's go out to Friday and see if it changes any. Look at this. You see, are you guys? Let's see if we're all paying attention. What are we noticing pattern-wise when we start looking at these price distributions? I'll look at DIS. We're going to skip IWM and TLT. No need to look at those. DIS also looks a little bit like a long. That's a crazy 1 day. That shows a lot of mixed vibes. Let's go out to Friday and see what it looks like. Once again, what are we seeing? Nobody answered that question. Nobody answered the question I asked. It looks like bearish to mix early on and bullish the week goes on. Thank you, Swoosh. Swoosh answered the question perfectly. Love to hear it. That's what the data is showing right now. Stronger second half of the week. There we go. That's why we're all here, so we can look at these things together and get a little learning. PDD. Then I'll do Netflix, Swoosh. What else do we have in here? Tesla long. Wait. Hello, can I look at Tesla long on weeklies? 197.5. Jay, I'm not sure. Are you wanting me to look at the contracts themselves? What are we looking at here? PDD. PDD just slightly has a green going above. It is an inverse. We long PDD when it goes. Data back test says we long PDD. Barely can see that green part right there. But back test shows that PDD is a potential long once it gets up here. Probably not this one tiny little bit, but man, it's been dipping down quite a bit. Once again, tomorrow's data shows a little bit of downside. Looking into Friday, it's pretty even actually. Baba. Baba says short, but I'm not sure I buy it. Yeah, I like. PDD was bearish last week and it's flipping a little bit, Matt. Yep, so. Baba's interesting. It just looks like hot garbage no matter which way you look at it. I'm gonna be honest there. It's on my do not trade list unless Vinny here says he's going long or short on Baba, then I listen. Please, Baba. All right. Yep. Okay. About answering that question. What's Gex? People are crazy. Feute's still having a good time. Not bad. Not bad. All right, what else we want to look at? I am Baba. Yes, you are. I agree. I agree, Kimberly. I stray as far away from them as possible. I'm just not interested in them at all. What else do we want to look at? Also, are these helpful? Are these useful to you every Sunday? Is it good practice? Are you enjoying it? Tesla and TSM. Okay, we'll pull them up. Tesla's. I tweeted about this earlier on the platform. Tesla's starting to show bearish. Plain and simple, it's starting to show a little bit bearish up here. Probably not time yet. Its 1 day shows pretty wild swings if possible. Let's get out to Friday and see what it looks like. So Friday, actually, Tesla doesn't look good. If we're just looking at price distribution. In fact, throughout the week, it doesn't look that good. Maybe we see some things like Apple run and others, and Tesla has a bad week. I forgot to look at Netflix. Then we'll look at Google, Kimberly. After we look at Netflix. Shrinking. It's an inverse. Looks like. Yep. So we buy over zero and it's shrinking. Not too long from now, we're going to see Netflix come down here, and then it's going to be time to start visiting shorts. See what it looks like. Once again, it's Monday. It's Monday. Looks almost exactly like SPY. Not too far off. Getting into Friday, it still looks somewhat bullish for price distribution. Once again, check these every morning. 30 minutes, an hour into the market, and see what you see. Google, I believe, Kimberly, has basically showed rip for like a week straight now. Shrinking now. But it's just been on a tear lately. Look at that price distribution. That's pretty interesting. Some volatility in there. Friday doesn't look as good. Weird that some of tech doesn't look good on Friday, but a lot of other things do. We did AMD earlier. Bislam to Bislam. We'll just put it into one word. We did AMD, yes, you have to watch that later. Google, and see, I always check Goog too, Kimberly. I actually play Goog instead of Google. I don't know what's wrong with me. I like it more. But as you can see here, Goog is showing even more rip. And its back test is about the same. Once again, though, look at its price distribution. It's kind of all over the place. Doesn't look good for Friday. We'll recheck that tomorrow morning, though. All the shop data you shared is seemingly bearish, correct, but you're in calls, just making sure you got that right, sir. Yes, correct. Correct. I'm in shop calls just based off that Trady flow. Just based off that Trady flow. So we're seeing a little bit of tech maybe be slightly bearish. Oxy, Matt, we did Oxy at the start and ZOM. Just at the end of this, just rewind back to about 8 minutes in, and you'll get Oxy and ZOM info. Lulu earnings this week. Oh, let's look at it then. I'm not going to lie. I very much enjoy Lulu shorts. Says it's a short for now. Obviously, this one's going to be mixed up, and I don't mess with earnings. You all know that. I despise earnings. I don't like gambling. 5-day probably shows bullish. Yep. Vinny, 30-second breakdown. Understand. Well, you didn't even put the letters in the right order, Vinny. But okay. Forward price distribution. We call it FDP. There's no F in here. It really is. It says future here, but I like to call it forward. It's just your percent. Then roll your mouse over and see what the percent is of something rising or falling, and then look for those movements to happen. So if you see a big 3% drop, then potentially you might get a run later on that day, next day maybe. FPD, yeah, we got you. You are the brightest. I love you. Don't ever forget that. What else were we looking at? Sorry, ZM. Who asked for ZM? Joey. It's my brother's name. Hi, Joey. Oh, God. ZM is an inverse. Shrinking, though. See these tails coming off? When I'm looking for these deltas, I'm really looking for the extremes for the buy or sell. So this is tailing off. This one's a short under and a long over. So it might be getting close to time. Its distribution is, oh, look at that. Tomorrow has some more negative flow. Friday's a hot mess. That's a great question, Kimberly. More of a scalper. What should you watch? So MNF's going to be your go-to, right? If flow traders are confused, though, let me just point out, if flow traders are struggling, right, MNF's going to have a little bit of struggle as well. Nothing's perfect. Nvidia's answering your question, but I'll go through it verbally as well because he's answering it perfectly. Your next thing is, when you're watching MNF, you're watching market net flow, these gray areas of convergence can frequently be contrarian plays, okay? So let's say we're red, and I want to show you, look where we go gray, right? Look where we go gray right here. It's not perfect, but you get a pretty decent run-up throughout that time. So even if I see bear, right? If we look here, look at our price. What was our price? 390.6. We went 391.29 is about when we went gray. So let's look at Friday's price action, right? Let's look at the chart that we all use in the Trady server together. Right around here. Look at that. Right around here is probably when we went gray. Not bad. That's a pretty decent run-up for a contrarian play. I know it fades market net flow, but sometimes I look for those. Obviously, here would have been the best entry. So anyways, Kim, so here's how a lot of us do it. Number one, if you're in the Discord, this chart that I make every morning and the pre-market videos that I post on the Trady Twitter are live for everybody that is in the Discord server. So if you're scalping SPY, then this chart is actually, there's a link in the market net flow channel of the Discord and the pins that gives you access to this chart all day long, and it runs live for everybody. And I update the levels as we go. But how I really trade it, Kim, is I look for GEX and dark pool levels, and as you can see, I don't have a lot of indicators on my chart. I use RSI. So I long the bounces and I short the rejections. Low RSI is what I'm looking for a long. High RSI is what I'm looking for a short. That's about all I keep on my chart. Oh, you're in the Discord. Good. Have you been using the chart at all, Kimberly? Thank you, Prashant. Started doing this and it works like a charm for scalping. Yep. Do you take plays only when all MNF time frames align in one direction? I don't, swoosh. I A lot of times I would prefer it, but I also don't want to be fence sitting all day and make zero trades. So even though we were bearish on Friday, I went long. I think I went long around right here. I really do think I went long around right around here. Perhaps one of these candles, but I paper handed and sold on this candle here. I was in 394s, right? So I remember being in 394 calls. I sold around this candle here, which was dumb. Should have held, because this dark pool held the rest of the day, and those 394s would have been about 200, 250% by the end of the day. The market net flow channel, Kimberly, it just says M&F trades, and then if you go to the little pin on there, it's got my chart linked in there somewhere. Hope that answered your question, Swoosh. I would prefer confluence upon all things. I will trade regardless if I like something I see. I like the confluence. I like having convergence, and I like having time frame continuity to hold my trades longer, if that makes sense. I'm going to scalp for 10-20% and be done within the first 2 hours, probably on something or other, be close to being done, but I would prefer to leave a good portion of my position and have confluence across all the things and let that contract ride. We just haven't been getting trend days lately. All we've been getting is FU candles. To be honest, we've been getting shakeout candles. We've been getting massive volatility, big rejects from crazy places. You know, if you look over here previously on Thursday, we got above this big dark pool. Everybody went long right here, and oh my gosh, what happened? This is why I never breakout trade. MM's got all those candles up and then shook everybody out to go down for the day. So, excuse me. So this is one of those things, for all of you who are just attending or for one of your first weeks or haven't watched many of my videos, this is an MM trick after 10 years of trading, and I will tell you it happens all the time, and this is how they get late bulls or late bears to react a certain way. They get a big candle above, everything looks good, oh my gosh, look at us go, and then we gulag, okay? This is why I don't break out trade. Here would actually be where I would short as opposed to buying longs, right? Close to this, look at this wick perfectly off of this Gex level here. I mean, crazy. So, do we trade leaps in Discord? Some do. Some do, Jay. Some trade leaps. A lot of us, I swing trade an awful lot. It just depends on I trade probably 5 or 10 different tickers. I just look for something I like, and then I'll buy slower. I'll buy longer stuff, as close to the money as I feel like buying, and then I just kind of let them do their things. ARC trading, yes, the Trady Ticks Discord. If you're not in Trady Ticks, it's a premium channel, so you have to be a subscriber to access the channel, my channel, if you will. LCU, can I go over a little slower on which buttons I press when back testing? Sure, man, or woman, whichever you are. Let's look at what ticker have we not looked at yet? Somebody throw something out for me. You know, we're going to look at Uber. I take so much pride in shorting this into the ground. It makes my life feel good and complete. So LCU, when we look at this, I leave deltas. Just leave it completely plain. I don't go through a lot of the momentum or the call or put delta. I just want to see what the deltas themselves are saying. And then you click, this is your buy under zero or short over zero. Then you click back test. So Uber says it's a short over zero. Good. Let's kill it. It's got some mixed price distribution, so probably not going to mess with it. Look at that. Friday, it's leaning heavier towards the upside. Almost a 4.1% chance there. It's about to tank. Isn't there some stat that 8% of breakouts fail? I'm not sure. I just don't breakout trade. I think it's ridiculous. Any idea when Hader is planning to add more? I'll pull up LAC while I'm answering this question. When haters plan to add more Discord bots. We'll look at coin after LAC. No flow. Garbage. There's nothing on there. Sorry. Not enough to produce anything. When hater bot commands, it's easier to use Discord rather than keep a website open at work. True, Swoosh. I use my phone. LAC didn't have any data, so coin is an inverse. If I remember correctly, it is. Coin's still slightly along. Monday we show a little bit of downside. Let's go into Friday. Pretty even across the board, actually. Oh, look at that. Tesla Theta. We were talking about you earlier. We looked at Tesla already. I said, I wonder if Tesla Theta is going to come in and ask about Tesla. And there you are. LCU, it does say Uber is a short over zero. Once again, you really got to look at levels, right? You need to apply your own analysis and go through your trades and see where you'd want to short something. Kimberly, you tell if it's inverse by when you go through the back test, if it gives you a bunch of negatives, right? So when we're on our deltas, it's pretty simple. If you go here and you do the back test of when it's under zero, and it says, uh-oh, you're not getting very good results, and then it says, okay. So now it's telling you the inverse. Yep. Siraj, that's a good thing. When things contradict, I do not like, I'll get CVS and then I will get LCRX for you, Bernie. When things contradict, I don't like to play with them. Plain and simple. I want as many data points pointing towards something as possible for me to have any interest in it. CVS looks like it's starting to build towards a long. A little bit there. It's a little different for Monday. Let's see what 5 days look like. Pretty mixed. That's crazy. Once again, check these every day, right? I just like to go 1 day out. Really, I like to go 1 day out and then maybe just look into the future a little bit for the fun of it. And so if we go out 10 days, it's starting to look, it's still mixed though. No one knows. So for this, I would just wait for it to come down a little bit more if it says I need to long it at some point. You can see we got a curl here at the end as this started to grow. LCRX, I got you, Bernie. I got you. Oh, we're not going to get anything. Sorry, Bernie. What in the Lord's name is MSTR? Slowly tailing off here. Slowly tailing off here. So as it goes up, it becomes a short, pretty mid. Not really much confluence there with the price, with the way it's working with price. Let's see. Distribution once again showing tomorrow, maybe not the best. Let's take a look at Friday together. Friday also maybe not the best. Volatility, some wild swings perhaps. Sorry, Bernie. AI stock portfolio. Hater does that manually whiz. Goes through and finds things specific that he's looking for. Usually comes later on tonight. Late Sunday evenings. Let's see here. Everybody paying attention? So we kind of know we don't want to... Oh, it's Bitcoin ETF. I don't play with Bitcoin stuff, with fake internet coins. Although I'm holding some SHIB right now for funsies. ATVI is an inverse Kimberly, so we long over 0. Monday looks weird. Pull back, potentially. Friday, we'll see how that goes. It is slightly shrinking a little bit. That was a heck of a run the other day. When it comes looking for GEX levels, I've noticed there are a few options according to expiry, bi-weekly, monthly, etc. Is there one that works best when it comes to scalping and day trading? I just go daily, Biz. I always just go daily. Let me show you. Let me refresh to make sure I've got the best version of it. SPY, grab it, and then let me show you my little secret here. Once you've set up the copy to TV button, come over here, turn on your Trady thing, paste it in there, turn it on, and then check to see how close levels are to my levels. So you got a couple of here, right? You got here and here, this small bit that we kind of chopped in between. I'm going to ignore those. I'm not going to add them. Okay. This one's close enough to here that I'm not going to mess with it. Close enough to that dark pool, so I'm not going to worry about it. And if you look, this is where we're bouncing anyways. Same with this one, pretty close, right? So I'm leaving that dark pool and that GEX the same. These are all the same. This one is for tomorrow, so I'll need to add that for my morning video. Look at that. We'll change the color, make everything match. These are the same. 367's new. That's interesting. That's as far as we go down. Whoops. Now I've screwed it up. Does that when you scroll too fast sometimes. Gets everything all weird. Then I have to re-add stuff. Never touch ATVI, it's the worst. Yeah, so Biz, I really do just use the dailies. I just hit daily and all, and then I'm done with it. Good question, Siraj. When do you know not to use MNF because last Friday wasn't accurate? I think we kind of discussed that a little bit, where it's not necessarily not using it. There's multiple data points on this tool, right? So one of them is when our convergence here goes gray. That's when I look to do a contrarian play against what it's saying. So it was bearish here. I went long anyways. So that's one of the extra ways that I use it. Right? Definitely one of the extra ways that I use it is to see the trend change here, and then go contrarian for a bit, off of a level though. Always off of a level. So this I mean, damn it, auto sucks so bad. Didn't mean to click that. So when I'm looking at these here, this whole range in here, this ghost zone, these ghost zones, I do not buy when price is anywhere in between these. I only buy at the extremes. A little bit above, a little bit below, nice wick there. That is the only time I buy. I never trade the mid-range. I want to be out of a trade already. If I'm long, I want to be out of a trade. Most of it here, maybe leave some runners if I've bought more time. It's an ODTE. I am here. I am out. If I bought here, I'm out on this candle, and I'm calling it a good day. I hope that helps, Siraj. I use convergence a lot to see which direction I'm going. Do you know what specifically he looks for when updating the AI portfolios? I know it's retail flow and going against it, which I'm a fan of. I do not know. That is haters. That is haters' secret sauce. Nope. Individual tickers. Well, if you add them over here, I think you can see some line. Let's try. No. Answer. So there's no. The answer to that is no Tesla theta. I don't know. But here I want to show you something. You say MNF didn't work on Friday, but let me show you something. Look at every other DTE. This is why you use flow line and enter these. You type in market right here, and then your expiry, 15, then you enter 7, you enter 30. So if you look at these, right, Tesla's starting to point bearish, Tesla Theta. You got to rewind, man. Got to rewind. So if you look at all these, calls cross, calls were up all day on your 7, calls were up most of your day on your 15. It was just your ODTE flow, your unfiltered, if you will. Sorry, not ODTE. Your unfiltered. Your short term was only the really one bearish. Mixed here, quite bullish here. So look at these, add these, and keep your flow line up. Very important, and it looks really good on mobile too. If you're on your mobile browser, not the app, but your mobile browser. Don't know if that helps. You want to talk about something cool? So here's something I've noticed with our ODTE flow. Let's talk about it. Extremes that are inverse are goofy, okay? So right here, this is an extreme that's inverse, right? Well, extremes that match the price action is, I guess, what I should say. I have been inversing. So down here at this bottom, when I see this big circle of puts, I want to go long. I'm looking for a long right here because they're buying puts at the bottom. So this is either reckless retail, some algos looking for fractional trades that are itty bitty and no one can quite figure them out, or some sort of some sort of market maker effery where they're doing some hedging of some sort in the spot on an ODTE, which wouldn't make any sense, right? So what I've been noticing is I have been fading. You see this big call spike here, right? Calls on this big run up. No, thank you. No, thank you. Right? I'm looking to maybe short there. Does that make sense, everybody? Unfiltered is actually none of those, swoosh. Unfiltered MNF doesn't have indices included. It's the flow from the entirety of the market minus the indices. ODTE down here. Jason Schwartzman, no, there is not a Discord bot for that yet. I know Hater's working on different things to scan for some of those things, but he's really busy. So yeah, how I've been playing it now. Obviously, I like to look at our newer tools and give them time. Right, I like to give them a little bit of time for me to analyze, for me to see what's going on, and to check. But right now, like I said, I've been fading the extremes if they seem wrong. So when I see puts at a bottom, I'm not interested in that, especially because this was resting on, look at that, 389.655. So probably this wick around here. They were like, let's short it some more, and then they got absolutely gutted in one candle. I don't use much dark pool sentiment, Tesla Theta. I would prefer the deltas and the price distribution, and then just the GEX levels after that. For the sentiment, I use dark pool levels obviously quite heavily. As you can see, all of my purple lines are dark pool. So I use those quite heavily. I mean, if you just look how price reacts around them, it's ridiculous. We already covered Tesla Setiot. So just you have to rewind to the beginning. We covered it pretty early. Is there a way to see MNF irrespective of expiration time frame? What do you mean? You mean like here? In the flow line as we're talking about? Kimberly, the DP I use is actually the bot ping in the Discord. TR-DP levels, one word there, and then SPY. That is the one that I use for everything. I don't even go into the dark pool page too often. I just use that bot ping because I like the way it aggregates. And the way it aggregates always seems to be so accurate. Five minutes. I'm not sure I answered your question correctly, Swoosh. My apologies. DP levels I use for support and resistance. SR levels, same with GEX levels, support and resistance, bounces and rejects. Yeah, Kimberly, if you go in there and type that into the channel, and then it'll give you a nice aggregate, and then I add the 3 or 4 biggest ones. Joey, does that bot work for other tickers? It sure does. JS, you'll have to go back to the first 15 minutes of this. We covered AMD earlier. Just rewind it a little bit. Yeah, all expirations without filtering for 7. I'm not sure how to do that, Swoosh. Matt, I update them about an hour and a half to 2 hours in. Somebody will usually, it's usually Cheddar actually. I will find out there's a new level because Cheddar will say in the channel, Cheddar Freeze will say new, oh, the DP levels, I don't update them all during the day. I wait till the next day. Not sure if I answered this, but do I only use unfiltered? No, Biz. I talked about how I use Flowline as well to check to see what the other expiries are doing. You see how all of them were bullish but one, and we managed to find our bottom and keep going. Based off various tickers from today, down Monday, picking up into Friday. That's what it looks like for now, Jason. But we should switch that around. We should not switch around. We should look at those each day to see if there's any change. Sentiment might change. So we check tomorrow at close, see what's going on, kind of continue through there. When I'm done with this video, can I come to the basement door and unlock and let you upstairs? Yes, Benny. I'll let you up when this is done. No sweat. I went ahead and read that one out loud so the late viewers can get a laugh. Tesla Theta needs to show up like the first 4 minutes of this every week because Tesla's the first one everybody asks for. You got to be on time. Hi, Morgana. I didn't know you were in here. Welcome, my friend. How effective do I find it? We just kind of covered that, HP. I find it effective at certain spots, right? Obviously, we're at a high here. Puts don't look so bad. We're at a low here. Calls don't look so bad. But if this would have said everybody's buying calls at this top, that's when I use it to fade the ODTE flow. The DGNs are wrong. And if we look when they started buying puts, perfect actually, 393. Let's look at the chart. Not bad. Your positions are all options trades, not futures. Correct, Bernie. I do not trade futes. I want to, but I want to trade them in the evening, and my wife says that I have to unplug and kick rocks, touch grass, walk the dogs, do something that doesn't involve the market for a few hours a night. Says it's good for my soul. So I do what she's told. I do what she tells me to do. Okay, we are down to time's up. Did everybody have fun? Number one, did you have a good time? Number two, did you learn something? And number three, Should we keep doing this every Sunday? Does everybody want to keep running? Kimberly knows. Happy wife, happy life. Good. We'll keep going every week. I enjoy it. Everybody have a good week. I'll see you in the Discord. And remember, we always finish. Make sure you're kind to everybody this week, right? Make sure you don't do any unneeded hatred towards people. If something makes you mad, just ignore it. Walk away. So be kind to each other. And lastly, as always, go get that Oprah money. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you in the Discord all week long.